There are a lot of your old friends who just want to say hi! Exclamation point. Just had another conversation.
Just wanted to say hi. You just got out of jail for killing our other childhood friend, you fucking prick.
Yeah.
Just had another
He
conversation.
does sound like a real prick. Are you kidding?
No. Dude, I'm old and my brain is filled. I only have so much room. I have to forget things to allow new information to come in.
You are fucking insane.
Well, just tell me.
Do you know how many Instagram followers Kim Kardashian has?
No.
She has 248 million.
Good for her.
Cristiano Ronaldo has 334 million. You would think that Kim Kardashian is one of the most famous people in the world, right? It's crazy you don't know. This isn't even for the show. I'm just blown away. Soccer player, hot guy.
Oh, okay.
You know him, right?
Yeah, I know the name.
Okay.
He has 300 million followers.
Yeah.
Boy, that really says like how meaningless all of this is.
No. It says how much you don't understand pop culture or aware of pop culture. He's the most famous person on the planet.
He is?
Literally.
If you get out of America.
He is the most famous person on planet
I'll
Earth.
call my mother right now and ask her if she knows who he is.
Please, let's do it. Please, call her now.
She's probably taking a nap.
Pat, call her. Call her.
No, then she's going to find out about the podcast. Then she's going to have Jimmy Dell, my stepdad, subscribe, and then they're going to hear how much I've trashed them over the years. It's not going to be comfortable.
Don't tell her she's on the podcast.
No, but then she'll want to talk politics. She's nuts about politics.
All right. Well, then I will call my father.
Oh, okay.
Your call is...
I'll call my wife. You know what? My wife is a better person to call.
Oh, she is definitely... I'm not going to say anything inappropriate, but she knows who the man is.
Okay, I hate soccer. That's why I don't really care.
Hello?
Hey,
Hey.
what's going on with the Creek variant?
Oh, I don't know. Tina's out of the hospital.
Hell
Oh!
yeah! It's not real!
She's out of the hospital?
Yeah,
All right.
Is this your cousin?
This is dad.
that's all I know.
No, she's my aunt.
No. Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to my father.
Oh, hi. Hi, Peter.
Yeah, you're on the podcast
Hey.
right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. What are you?
Podcasts.
What are you? What are you doing?
Watching a documentary about Whitey Bulger.
Oh,
Why do you sound like that?
I've been watching Whitey Bulger.
You sound like you're passing something.
No, I'm not. No.
get to the question, Dylan.
You sound
Not
belabored.
asking anything.
You sound belabored. Okay.
No, that's just life.
Hey, do you know who Cristiano Ronaldo is?
Of course I do.
Dude, why do
Tennis
you
player.
sound like that? Why are you? It sounds like you're lifting something.
He's a man of a certain age, Dylan. Leave him alone.
So you do know who Cristiano is?
Tennis player.
Stop.
Ah!
Stop. Seriously.
He said soccer player the first time.
No, of course I know Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah. What do you know about him?
He just went back to his old team.
There you go.
Ask your dad what's the real football.
Dad doesn't care about things like that. He doesn't. Dad doesn't even like football that much.
Oh, he doesn't?
No.
Oh. Soccer's
No.
boring,
No,
Dylan.
you can
No.
no.
Dad, what are your hobbies?
I don't know. Building houses.
All right, I gotta go. Love you very much.
Love you, Pete.
Love you.
Bye, Pete.
Bye.
Point proven.
Point
Long.
proven.
It
He's a
took while.
70-year-old Vietnam vet, and he knows who Cristiano Ronaldo is.
Dylan, I got 14 jobs. My wife nicknamed me the Jamaican. I don't have time to be going down these wormholes of social media and knowing who's popping right now. And by the way, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit?
You know, I saw somebody walking the other day with their hands behind their back. You ever seen somebody walk like that?
Yeah, it's usually Asian men walking in the mall.
That is 100% true. But outside of that, it's a very concerning gait. You know, you see a white guy walking like that, you're like, what are you thinking about killing? I mean, good God. So uncomfortable.
I think you're having a good day when your hands are behind your back and you're walking down the street.
Is the guy with his hands behind his back related in any way to Cristiano Ronaldo?
No.
Okay. Are we moving on from him?
Yeah.
Well, I had a thought. Because
Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo, he's so famous, he made Coca-Cola stock just by... he was in a post-game press conference, and he moved a Coca-Cola off his table, and Coca-Cola stock price dropped like 10%.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, is he sponsored by another soft drink company?
No, Patrick.
He just doesn't put anything that would affect him negatively into his body. And he expects his young child to do the same, and does not think his child has what it takes to be Cristiano Ronaldo.
No. See, Cristiano was from a poor town in Madeira, Portugal, a volcanic town, one where he brushed the streets with a straw broom. You know what I mean? And his child is brought up in a world of private planes, Bugattis, and whatnot. But it really is shocking that the only appropriate person for a hands behind the back gait is an old Asian guy in a mall. That's absolutely crazy. This is another podcast show. I am Dylan, saddled up next to one real Nicholas Davis.
I have another question for Pat about the...
Well,
what's
can you
going
just
on,
say,
everybody?
yeah, and then Pat's the producer of the podcast over there behind my glasses.
Hi.
Why were you so taken aback by that?
Oh, I thought he was going to say something before I talked.
He wanted to finish the highs before we did it.
And now the highs have concluded.
And now it will ask.
Yeah.
So it brings up a question in my mind. Cristiano, because of where he came from and now the affluence his child is afforded, does not believe his child will amount to the success that he was.
Well, that's not necessarily true, but he's concerned about it.
So I wanted to ask you, Pat, though the chasm isn't quite as wide, I think by many measures you would be considered more successful than the generation that preceded you.
Absolutely.
Do you worry about Ellie not having the drive to...
The way you said absolutely is disgusting.
Oh, no, I'm the biggest success
objective.
story out of my family. They were all losers. My grandmother urged me to go down the street and work at the plastic fork company. Imagine if I listened to that old kook.
It's
I'd
objective.
be right now, probably some earbuds in, listening to some music, processing plastic forks.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's not, but it wasn't meant for me.
You'd be listening to a podcast thinking how much you're like, if I would have done this, I would have fucking killed
You've
it.
Been thinking I'm a star.
Nick,
Why am I doing this?
I would have thought that. Nick, great question. And let me tell you something. I have put some thought into this. I just want my kid to be happy. I want her to go through life. I don't want her to go through all the miserable phases that
And
I
listen,
had.
I don't want to be offensive, but what if she's happy jerking punks off underneath that bridge?
I'm not going to like that, but if she...
But what if it brings her happiness? Jerking punks off underneath that fucking bridge over there.
Well, I'm not going to be happy with that because I think she'd have to be a really unhappy person to think that that's going to make her happy.
Sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, I want my kid
He won
to be
that
happy.
one because I thought it wasn't making sense what he was saying. But great point, Pat.
I wonder what the signs of a hua are, when you're a parent. It's my biggest fear having a daughter. I don't think my daughter, should I have one, will ever be a hua. But what do you what are the signs when you're,
First
you're
off,
a dad?
every
it's
kid
just
becomes
terrifying to me.
I have done the
And
research.
I don't want to be misogynistic. If my boys are huas, I'm going to tell them, hey, you can't treat women like that. This isn't a pump and dump kind of world. You have to pay respect to people, especially young women, boys.
That's the whole part. And also, my wife's going to be the other side of this. She's going to say you got to respect your body. And you got to respect yourself and your time and how people treat you. And so my wife's going to make sure she's not going to be a hoe. Every kid, no matter their upbringing, it's just the natural stuff of our DNA.
Nature.
Or nature is you're going to be sexual at 14 or something like that. You're going to start thinking about it. You're going to start thinking about the opposite sex. What you got to do is teach them the responsibility is like, hey, you're going to have to wait a little bit on this.
Or drive the fear in them that they'll experience eternal hellfire if they go against God's word, which is one way to do it.
I listen.
And then at least when they become a whore, they're out of your house.
I'm going to start a parenting podcast.
I am your co-host.
We went to Supernova last night. I got to give you your ID back, by the way. We went to Supernova last night, and I heard Sarah Silverman talking about that same thing. She was doing a bit on how hell doesn't exist, and she wants to tell people that hell does not exist to stop them from being terrified of things. And I agree with you. I think it's a magnificent imagined fiction that really keep people in line. And sure, it goes a little bit too far sometimes, and people whip themselves with nine tails, the same leather instruments that were used to brutalize Jesus of Nazareth. But on the whole, I think it keeps people in check.
It absolutely does. And when more fear actually kept people from doing bad things, like, hey, I think I want to bang my best buddy's girlfriend. When you thought Satan was going to have you burn in hell for that, it would hold you back. Now, Now we've kind of like pushed the line a little bit. God will forgive you at the tail end if you go to church enough. Case in point, my wife, I think I said this on the podcast like a month ago, ordered me on Friday that I was going to start going to church on Sunday. Because
I love this story because you're trying to get the kid into a new school.
For a nursery school, so we got to go to church. And I told my wife, and this is an exact quote, I said, I'm not going to church on Sunday. I will start going to church when I'm near the end and I have cancer and I need to start bargaining my way through the gate.
Right, but we're
not now.
We are not.
I have life to live.
We're not going
Football
to the
is on
negotiating table. Yes. Who could give up the West Coast feed of the Bengals versus the Jaguars at 10 o'clock in the morning,
Exactly.
Who could give that up?
It is much easier being a Christian on the East Coast. There's no doubt about that.
100%. But
see, this is the type of AP. Why do I always have to bring in something you guys aren't going to enjoy? Let's just talk for an hour, fellas.
So it got me thinking because we were at this comedy show last night. Everyone's saying, oh, you got to go to Supernova.
How many comedians? 6?
40.
Oh, Jesus.
So the problem with, weekday shows, it's the way the lineups are structured. They give people a chance, and they need to. We have to give people a shot and come up and cut their teeth and stuff like that. But it goes from, it's like an Oreo cookie. It's bland shit, and then you get to the middle, which is delicious, and then bland shit, caps the night off. Maybe at the Comedy Store with who's the guy that finishes every night where he brings homeless people on stage? Don Herrera. What's his name?
Don
Imus
really?
Or something. Yeah.
I love Dom. I didn't know that was a bit he was doing.
Yeah. So, anyways, I was so appalled by the
Don Barris.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Don
Herrera
Herrera is 68 years old and drinks coffee on stage.
I would not doubt that Don Barris is also 68 years old, but different
probably
people.
older.
Different
Yeah.
people.
So, anyways, I was stunned at the quality of the performances last night.
They sucked.
Stunned. Eddie Pepitone is a man after my own heart. He got up and started screaming at the audience about how he didn't respect them, which was hilarious.
Now, Eddie is, for a long time, he was the warm-up guy for Conan O'Brien's show, I believe.
Not sure.
Yes.
But absolutely crushed. Sarah Silverman was working on new stuff. Very sad that she had to couch it with, like, I have material that kills, but I'm just working on stuff. Why do you care? You're Sarah Silverman. Why do you need to say that? Doug Benson came up, baked out of his brain with fucking postcards. And there were all of these...
Everyone's working out. For the Friday people.
There were these comedians who I had never heard of who were... The thing about going to a comedy show is your obligation as an audience member, the obligation that I feel at least, I don't know...
As the talent.
No. As the people watching the talent, that you have to kind of support them in a way. There's a pressure to... chuckle, smile, laugh, especially when they're looking at you, But I found myself during certain points in the set thinking, why the fuck
am I here?
Why do I have to listen to you say anything else? Literally anything else. Why the Gong Show should be a thing still. I mean, it's just crazy how bad these people were. One guy told a bit about how his girlfriend has Yeezys that glow in the dark, but she only wears them during the daytime and then puts them away in the closet. And
That's funny.
No, it's not funny because it wasn't. It was just so fucking bad. I felt like I was trapped there.
I didn't experience his delivery, but that is a funny premise to me.
Here's my thoughts on this, because I remember there was a time before I met my wife, and then a little after we met. Comedy Store was every Friday night. or a Saturday night.
Fine.
Every week. So I started learning like, oh, wow, they don't really change anything. They go up and do the same exact thing. Like,
Right.
and they, even like Chris D'Elia I used to watch, he has this habit of laughing at his own joke. Even that
Yeah.
was exactly the same.
Right,
So
right.
I realized like, oh, he's a movie that just you press play. He realizes
Wedding
what it does.
Crashers.
And he's really just doing this to then find the cocktail waitress that he's going to fuck after the
Sure,
show.
sure.
That's why he's here.
Yeah, it's of paramount importance.
That was probably all as important.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, but I was thinking as an audience member, as when people come up and they got their little, their legal pad out, and Sarah Silverman said, oh, I'm still working some of this stuff out. Like, no, you're not. The second someone walked through that door and they paid money,
Right.
you're no longer working your stuff out.
Well-
you get up there and you do your fucking best show.
So here's the thing. Me and Nick used to have big dreams of getting into comedy. And we...
Stand-up.
You made it.
Stand-up
You
comedy.
made it. Oh.
Specifically.
So we used to go to open mics all the time. And open mics are a brilliant litmus test for how badly do you actually want this. Because open mics are some of the most...
The only people there are either the talent watching you do your act, and they can't wait for you to get off the stage,
or the people working the
there, and
restaurant.
maybe it required you to bring a friend.
Have you guys seen
Bringer shows.
Princess Bride?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
At one point, the guy,
Carl
Carrie Elwes.
Isles.
what's his name? A character name.
No clue.
No clue.
As you wish. That guy. He gets found and he gets taken to some dungeon by that weird guy who just like loves torture.
Right.
That vibe in his dungeon, that's an open mic.
Yes, I was going to say the only thing more depressing than an open mic would be maybe a jaunt through the Museum of Tolerance or perhaps actually going to Auschwitz. But it is such a bummer being there. And the thing is, everyone has their fucking notepad. Oh, this is what I'm working on tonight. Oh, that didn't land. And there's always that very uncomfortable 3 to 5 seconds where there's complete silence and they look down at the notepad to read in front of people. You know what I mean? That was happening at this fucking
How many people
show.
are there?
Probably 50 to 75, and it was $25 a ticket. And I'm sitting there thinking, how is this happening? I get it. Sarah Silverman wants to work out her stuff. She's a legend. She can do that if she wants. But the people that are there who are no-namers treating this like an open mic, you're nobody. No one knows who the fuck you are. Don't work shit out here. Make fans. Mm-hmm. Endear people to your wit.
Bring your A game.
Oh my God.
Can I tell you something?
Why am I listening to you fucking talk and read a fucking legal pad?
In 2003, I was at the Improv, which is on Melrose, and it was a bunch of just, comedians you don't know. Some you might have seen. They had a television show or something like that. And then at 11:30, in walks Chris Rock with a legal pad.
Sure.
So he must have bumped whoever was going to be on there because he
Sure.
just walks in. All right, if you guys listening out there don't understand, in Los Angeles, this is probably in New York too, when an A-lister comes in, basically all these poor saps that we're going to think they're going to do their stand-up at 12
You
when
can go
half a
fuck
crowd.
yourself.
Yeah, you can go fuck yourself. Dane Cook is here. Chris Rock shows up.
Well, I don't know about
He used to do that.
He's notorious for that.
Dane.
He would go
maybe
at the
back in 2010, 2008.
Maybe,
yeah, right.
He'd walk in at 11 o'clock, just when people are starting to go out, they're gonna leave, because it's a lot of couples and dates and shit. And he'd basically just bump the entire roster of comics that are their first time. They're gonna get their 15 at the Comedy Store. Anyway,
You. I hope you burn in hell. Me? What the fuck did I do to you, man?
Chris Rock walks in, and I didn't understand why he was holding a legal pad.
Right.
He proceeds to do 30 minutes of some of the most unfunny,
Right.
uninspired material. I mean, people were laughing because it was Chris Rock. People were actually asking if they could take a picture while he was in the middle of attempting to work through a bit.
Sure.
And that's when I realized, like, oh my God, the A-listers or whatever, they'll come in here and just, everyone will fake laugh for them because they're just excited to see them. But what's coming out of their mouths is extremely unfunny.
Right.
It was really uncomfortable because I didn't laugh. I'm not like that. I'm not going to just fake laugh
Sure.
just because I recognize him on TV.
Sure.
And I was like, wow, let's get Joe No Name up here. At least he was trying.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a gift. It's the gift and the curse of being in LA. You can go on a Tuesday night to the Comedy Store. Less so post-pandemic. It's gotten really weird there. A lot of people aren't showing up anymore.
Sure.
But you can go on a Tuesday night and see a list of comedians. You're like, I recognize that guy from that. I recognize that guy from that.
Sure.
What you don't realize is that you're showing up to practice.
Yeah.
Imagine going to an NBA team and they
Yes.
have an open practice and you can sit there. It's not going to be the same thing.
Right.
And it's not the performer's fault. They're getting paid. They used to get paid nothing to go up by the Comedy Store. Now they get paid $300 for a 15-minute set, which is nothing to them.
Nothing.
So they have no incentive to give their best. You have to just realize that and be those people who are excited to see Chris Rock read off his notepad. That should be the experience. I actually was one of those people once, and it was right before he hosted the Oscars, and he definitely bumped people. And I knew I wasn't getting his best, but I was excited. This is the man I had. Like to me, he was the first stand-up comic, like bigger, blacker hours.
Right, but
that was fucking the shit. So I was just happy.
That's
to be in
a
the building.
rarity, though. Like that's a unicorn kind of thing. I mean, every once in a while, Chappelle will drop in, but on the whole, you are going to see a scrimmage. And so I would implore people to go support live comedy. But for this podcaster, I don't think I'm going to a comedy show unless it's in a fucking theater. I don't think I'm going. I don't want to see people work out, and I really don't want to see.
How about a Saturday night at the Comedy Store?
Maybe if Saturday nights, weekend shows, that's a little bit better. But I'm not popping into a fucking comedy club on a Wednesday or Thursday night. No fucking way. You kidding me? What kind of masochistic fucking evening is that?
You said $25 a ticket, so you and the wife go. That's
$25 a
How
ticket.
about parking?
Plus $20 to park, so we're at $70 right now.
How about drinks?
$60 worth of drinks. You're at $120 to have been subjected to absolute horse shit for most of the time, and some funny laughs from Eliza Schlesinger, which was like wild that she was doing the best job. It was crazy.
I have to reiterate, just like this is being in LA, because like for some reason, if you're out of town and you're in Denver, you can go to Comedy Works on a Friday and see some C-list comedian do an hour that will be amazing and like really good comedy. I worked at Acme Comedy Club in Minneapolis. It's revered by like touring road comics as one of the best clubs, and like I loved being. I would work Tuesday through Saturday, see the comic do his set, the same set every night, but they're trying, because they are trying to like get these fans in there. They want them to come back the next time they come, and I actually love seeing how they would like tweak their sets or whatever. But yeah, we're going to their practice fields.
Right? Yeah, it's
in
just,
LA.
It's
Sorry
not,
that happened to you.
Yeah, you don't have to apologize.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
That's okay.
You know, I had a friend, Sebastian, who was also featured on Hell's Kitchen with the
Maniscalco?
G-Man.
Yeah.
No.
Well, he has for some reason turned into Prince, where you can just say Sebastian and everybody knows.
Unbelievable. He is funny, I will say.
No,
that.
he is not.
Well,
Yeah, he is.
I saw
No,
him
he's
do
not.
10 minutes
To
of Comedy
me,
Store a
I
couple
don't
times.
find
He's a great performer.
So my friend Sebastian, who was eventually featured on Hell's Kitchen because he opened a restaurant in Riverside called Sebastian's. But prior to being a restaurateur,
Right.
he wanted to be a stand-up comedian. So this is so wrong. He basically just stole the best jokes from well-known comedians and just created a set with it.
Why not?
And he just did it.
Why not?
And he got laughs, but they were jokes that he just stole from Chris Rock.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we'd be forced to go to bringer shows to go support him. And I'd be like, oh my God, he stole all this material. He didn't write a single beat.
And the other thing about
I could do that. I'd never hit a woman.
the other thing,
But I'd shake the shit out of you.
It was kind of like that.
the other thing about going to shows right now in Los Angeles, you will bat 1,000, and I mean with complete 100% certainty, you will hear material about
Dogs.
vaccines,
Oh, now. Okay.
pronouns, the homeless, and wokeness.
So hacky.
Every fucking set will at the very least brush on those topics, and it's just like, guys, I just want to hear about, how Hitler didn't like magicians. Just like talk about anything other than the shit we are fucking inundated with constantly.
I recently went to Tim Dillon actually paid for tickets and went down to Irvine to see Tim Dillon actually do his show because I wanted to avoid this see them 15 minutes practice type thing. Tim was great. Tim was awesome, but he did continue to hit on like the quarantine and COVID and blah blah blah. His opener, who was some young 22-year-old kid, was just a fucking comic. It was so funny. He was talking about how like his sister came home and she was devastated because she just broke up with her girlfriend and his entire family had to act like they cared, but they all hated this guy. It was like some funny shit. He made a joke about like those stoplights on exits and blowing through them, and it was
real life stuff.
And just like, I'm there to escape, okay? I don't want to. Please don't be my Twitter feed.
Nick, that's what we provide. That's why the audience loves us.
Please don't be my Twitter feed. Episode title.
Have you ever heard us talk about any of the things that both of you mentioned that you'd hate to hear in a stand-up comic?
Which brings me to what I brought for today's APS. We have to end the lockdowns. I kid.
Hey, can I change the subject for a second? Because I want to get people's opinions.
I have to pee.
All right, you want to? Can I just keep talking?
Yeah, louder.
Oh, okay. All right. So I've been obsessed with Facebook lately because something's going on in that universe.
Because 1, you're old.
Right.
1A, something's going on with that universe.
Right. Okay. So I think Facebook, aside from groups, which Nick always acknowledges, people are less into it anymore. Like, of course, your finger naturally presses that F, and you got to check in. Like, it's like you've been programmed to do it like a fucking robot. You don't even know what you're doing. You're at a stoplight in your car. You pick up your fucking iPhone. Before you know it, you're pressed on Facebook, okay? God. They programmed us.
Don't be my Twitter feed right now, Pat.
But what I've noticed now is people are not engaging as much. And so they're not posting as much as they used to. And now these people that have been thinking that Facebook is more than it is in their lives.
Sure.
Like, for me, the definition of Facebook at this point is Facebook is relatives that you're friends with that have kids that you really don't want to drive to see or get on the phone to talk about, but you'll like pictures of them when your nephew posts
You're
them.
just being so chuggy right now. What is going on with Facebook?
Okay. So people are getting really thirsty, wanting to know why there isn't. I've seen, this has been going on for a long time, but I'm seeing, all right, so this is from my nephew, JR. He posted this on Tuesday. Got a lot of so-called friends on Facebook. Let's see who leaves a hello here and then shares it so I can say hello. What kind of post is that?
Say it again.
Do I really have to say it again?
Say it again.
Got a lot of so-called friends on Facebook. Let's see who leaves a hello here. And then shares it so I can say hello. Oh, no. He's not alone.
Can we Lord of the Flies these fucking people? Let's have a goddamn algorithm that is looking out for these kinds of posts. We need more psychiatric help in this country. It should be the new plumber. Go take a couple psych classes, get employed by Facebook so that when these posts get flagged by the algorithm, you can do a quick psych eval on them. And if they do not pass, we should put them on a fucking Lord of the Flies type island and get rid of them.
Well, there's a lot of people. You
get rid of them.
You need a continent. You need to send them down in Antarctica with a bunch of winter jackets. All right,
put them in Australia. I hate Australia.
Why do you hate Australia?
All the lockdowns.
Oh, yeah, they're brutal over there. Listen to this. So this is my friend Lexi. She posted this 1 hour ago. I have come to the conclusion we just can't win. This constant turmoil isn't good for my body or my immune system. I will just let you think you got me. What the hell are you talking about? What the hell? And finally, this is my friend, my childhood friend from Michelle. This is what she fucking posted. Hold on. This is nuts, right?
This is a great, honestly, bit that I'm always struggling what to do. I've seen some Facebook posts in my day. I'm going to bring in some friends ones next week.
This is my childhood friend. She says, I have learned a good deed does not go unpunished. Boy, I understand that phrase now. When you think you know someone and you're really trusted them and then ... you learn they weren't genuine and they were really just using you. Why post that? Give us the details.
Am I crazy or did he already talk about this one?
No, you cut
that
it
one
out.
specific. Oh, you cut it out?
You cut it out.
Did I cut it out?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
I bet Brian didn't. I bet it's on the video.
Oh. My point here is, what are we doing here, people? Like, something's going on with Facebook. People are being so thirsty. They're posting these insane things, and they need the attention, but the attention is there because we're slowly exiting Facebook. Our attention spans. We're not as engaged as we used to be.
Here's my thing. I don't stand to care, right? If you do not have, it is sad, it's a lemming type behavior, finding a body of water so that you can fucking drown in it.
Why can't these people just jump off cliffs then?
Exactly.
Go to a park with a coffee and start talking
hang
to people.
yourself. Oh, my bad.
Oh, the same thing.
Don't do it in public place.
So listen,
Hang yourself. Not,
vlog about it. Maybe you'll get the views you want. How do people not have friends? Just a couple. And listen, people lived long, arduous lifetimes. Not everybody's guaranteed a good life, Some people have really shitty lives. But find a friend, read a book, go on a date, binge a show.
Find a hobby.
Stop psychoanalyzing yourself to yourself on Facebook. It is one of the more pathetic things that this Gutenberg social network shit has afforded us the opportunity to do. It is fucking pathetic. And I say again,
What's your problem with Police Academy?
what?
Steve Gutenberg?
Word up, man.
That's out, man.
It's out. It's in. We're bad. We're good.
Big mistake.
No, I'm talking. No, God, fucking damn it.
One last note on this.
Yeah.
Dylan, well said. All right. So,
Was it though?
What is this on Patreon or is this free?
No, this is free.
All right. So I can't say this person's name. All right. I've mentioned on this show, I had a childhood friend who later on murdered my other childhood friend.
Sure.
I'm not going to say their names because I'm scared. He's a murderer.
Yeah. You should be.
So he got out of jail after doing 11 years. He should have rotted in jail, but his sister's got so much money, they hired a lawyer that then went back and said it wasn't fair that he got life because it looked like there was evidence that there was some self-defense.
Sure.
He drove a knife into my childhood friend while she was in the shower. So he murdered her.
What do you mean drove?
Drove. Does that, you can't say.
You just mean he stabbed her?
He stabbed her to death.
Okay.
And then he
That's
went
just
out.
very
and sat-
confusing,
He
'cause
sat
to
on
me-
the sidewalk. The police came because the neighbors heard the screaming, and he just said, "I killed her." And then that's that. And now he's out of jail.
And I'm also my mommy too.
Huh?
Twist.
Oh, right. So anyway,
Well, it's the titular. That's the psycho. He's
so this
stabbing in the
jerk
shower.
off is out of jail now, and all the friends from my hometown, we'd start texting each other saying, he's starting to friend me on Facebook.
Yeah,
What are
yeah.
you doing? I think I brought this up on
Right,
the
right.
podcast. So I refused to accept his friend request.
Right.
So now he's taunting me because another friend, my buddy Brett, sent me a screenshot of his most recent Facebook post.
I like Brett, manager at PF Chang's.
You got it.
Good guy.
Actually, district manager. He oversees a couple of them. He's
Good
doing
guy.
pretty well for
He's
himself.
doing well.
All right, Nick, do you mind reading this? 'Cause
Hates
I'm
his
so
ex-wife.
blind, I cannot read it. Don't say the guy's name, please. But you can say the people's name in the text.
I'm excited to try. This is from
No, don't say his name.
two old friends, ... maybe three,
This is the murderer?
Yes. ...
are on my mind. There are so many people that would love to talk to Damian Sullivan and Mark Fuzz. Even if they don't want to talk to me,
These were the 5 friends. Fusey, Sully, Mike V, me, and then this character.
Okay.
I'm going to start over. And anytime I say ... just know he only put 2 dots.
Well, he's
Okay.
been in prison for 11 years.
He doesn't understand how to utilize the ellipses properly, or even what it is, or how many dots goes in it.
Or regular punctuation.
Right.
Maybe it is just his period. I'm going to recant that.
Okay.
I'm only going to say the actual number of dots he did. I will not say periods because I don't know if they are being
Okay,
used
do you
as
want me to
such.
read it? Because
No,
you're-
I'm
okay.
doing this. I'm excited.
Okay.
2 old friends, ... maybe 3 are on my mind, ...
I'm the
On my
third, by the
mind.
way.
Yeah.
There are so many people that would love to talk to Damian Sullivan and Mark Fuzz, ... even if they don't want to talk to me, ... There are a lot of your old friends who just want to say hi, ! Just had another conversation
Just wanted to say hi. You just got out of jail for killing our other childhood friend, you fucking prick.
Yeah.
Just had another
He
conversation.
does sound like a real prick.
Just had another conversation with an old friend where these two names came up. ... It's just strange that they would turn their backs on so many who truly care about them. ... Just want to know they are well. ... Even if you are not where you expected to be. ... None of that crap matters. ... What matters is friendships. ... Exclamation point. Hashtag Jake. At the end of the day, I respect your decisions. ... It's very important to some people who they do or don't let into their little bubbles. Bubbles with an apostrophe. ... Either way. ... Just know there are people who still ... After 30 years. ... Want to know you're doing okay. ... Or even if you're not. ... They want to know and have the op to be there. ...
Go fuck yourself. You killed someone, you bastard. You're lucky you're not rotting in a fucking cage. Here's what I'll say. Try and put together something for the rest of your life. But I don't need to be a part of it. Make the most out of your second act. Or
Build boats and bottles. It sounds like a fun and challenging
Can you imagine
thing to do.
the gall of this guy? He's pissed that we don't want to be friends with him.
Well, can I tell you, I have a similar story to this where, and I won't say any names, but we've got some murder in my family. Had some cousins on, I'm not going to say which side of the family, but two cousins murdered each other, two brothers.
Okay.
Or one murdered the other. Stabbed numerous times, over and over, plunging the blade in, over some cash.
Or driving.
Love of money, that's the root of all evil, right? So, he goes to prison for a while, begins penning letters to the people in my family. Just want to catch up, see how you're doing.
Thanks for getting that quote right. People often misattribute it and say money is the root of all evil. It's
No,
the
no,
love
no.
of money is the root of all evil.
Oh.
Which begs the question, if the money's there, is it the root? But anyways.
Just don't love it. Utilize it. It's a tool.
A corrupting tool, though, one that many can't handle. But anyways.
Some people can't handle a hammer.
All right, so we can talk about capitalism and how it's doomed to fail.
What are you going to say about the murder in your family?
There is this, kind of confusing obligatory stance you can have on this where, it's family, it's friends. They made a mistake by murdering someone. But does that mean we never have to speak to him or her again? And the answer is unbelievably, overwhelmingly yes. You don't talk to fucking murderers. They killed someone. It's number 1 on the list of 10 commandments. Mm-hmm. Oh, wait. No, it's not. Because God is a petty narcissist. Right? Isn't number 1?
Thou shalt not covet.
The first, the first 3 are all offenses you can do towards God.
Right. It's he got in the 10 Commandments. God sounds like he's from the movie Clueless.
Have no other gods. Respect the Sabbath. Don't use my name in vain. And then don't not kill people.
It's the
adultery.
It's the 4th in the list of 10 Commandments. And should someone do it,
covet thy neighbor's wife.
Don't friend them on Facebook.
No. By the way, you better bleep his name out.
I'm going to bleep his name out. But can I, while Nick's frozen in his Catholic education recital here.
Covet neighbor's things.
Let's move on.
Steal.
Who gives a fuck? So.
I think there's only 8.
This thing on Facebook where people are just, pouring their hearts out. We have an impending doom that is about to come. The fourth turning is here. Inflation isn't transitory or transitioning. It is here to stay. So we're going to have some problems. Just sink yourself into debt, okay? If your interest is lower than inflation, you're making money. So
never a borrower or a lender be.
What is wrong with you?
All right, so.
That's a horror. Don't listen to that.
Yeah.
Debt will set you free. Things are getting so bad for millennials especially that people keep talking about vagrant lifestyles as though it is something romantic or to be desired. I was talking to a friend the other day, and my wife keeps talking about this because there are YouTubers that live in Sprinter vans and go around to all the national parks and eke out a living by putting their fucking videos up on Facebook and getting sponsored by hemp-sewn athletic wear and shit like that.
Wife's got a couple of friends doing that.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and she goes, "Hey, me and my husband are going to be moving out of New York. We're going to get a van, and we're going to live together
Please
in
tell
said
me they have 2
van."
kids.
No kids. We're going to live together in said van for a year. And I told her, I am really sick of fucking people like you doing this shit. I mean, it's just crazy that things have gotten so goddamn bad. The cost of living in metropolitan areas is so fucking through the roof that people have been beckoned like it's a sick siren song to the life on the road, living in a goddamn fucking van and pulling into campgrounds with Francis Norman type characters talking about how they got shit canned from the factory. Who the fuck wants to do this? Go on a vacation and then get back to your life. You don't need to go gallivanting around the fucking country like a vagrant. And also, there's 4 places you want to go see. That's it. What do you want to go to Ohio? You want to drive through Ohio? What the fuck is there? Spaghetti with chili beans? Live in Los Angeles. Jesus Christ. It's a parasite. It's parasitic thought. Spewing your shit on Facebook and wanting to live in a fucking van so you can go see Mount Rushmore. And then what? You're in a van.
I'm actually for it. At least your kids are being subjected to CRT, and you can give them the education they deserve.
All right, that's it for us. We'll be back next week. Jump in the iTunes ratings and reviews. Leave 5 stars, kind words. Please, a free another one that is paid, actually, is available every week at patreon.com/anotherpodcast network. We love you very much. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Pat, say goodbye.
Later.